What's up, people? Jake Royall coming at you again. There's mountains, there's stuff. We're all alive on the planet. This is the planet we live on. See, look, check it out. There's mountains and sky and grass and trees and birds and elephants and human beings. And there's also trading. And then there's emotions. And there's a world of infinite possibilities. One of those possibilities is some more people are going to show up. And that's what I'm waiting for, because that's what Mr. Michael says to do. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to do 5 minutes or so, and I'll check back in. Enjoy watching the market plummet. What's up, everybody? I'm feeling a little loose and crazy today. Anybody else? Anybody else trade yesterday? Holy smackanolies. I called that. I called it too. I was like, watch, it's going to range. And then it didn't range. And I was like, oh, okay, they could push it down. They could push it down until it's time for the FOMC stuff. And right when the FOMC happened at 1400 East Coast time, look at that candle. Right into pattern 1. Oops, Control T. And then look at this pattern 2. Bam. Pattern 1, think I care? No, don't care. Because our HMA is blue. Do I care about this puncture? Yes. When did I stop trading? Like a little pansy boy? Here is where I stopped trading. If I didn't stop trading, I would have ended up with 2,000 something. What is this? Sort of punching myself for not trading all day, though, with an extra 1,983 stinking ticks, because I was like scared of the FOMC. Meh. Like, give yourself a max stop loss and take the trades. I didn't punch myself, though, so that's good. All right. Oh, shoot. Was that? Oh, no, I was unmuted. Just kidding. I still know I'm unmuted. Do you guys like my church? And then today, I should have just stopped trading after the first trade. Today was a load of BS poop hoops. Rachel, if you're listening to this later, don't start the YouTube. This right here is not for YouTube people. Okay, this is for all you wonderful folks who come to these webinars every week. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the YouTube people. In fact, I'm gonna send Rachel a message in a second saying, don't start the YouTube edit video until like a couple minutes in. I'll let you know when, because I don't want this shenanigans going on YouTube. In fact, I have to play the special video thing, which I will do if I can find it. And I'm a little backed up on stuff and work things. Sorry for anybody who sent me an email last week. It took me like 4 days to respond to you. Try not to let that happen again, but no guarantees. Okay. Just look at the church in the Alps for a second while I find this video. I know it's here. Jake, you're so professional. I know, aren't I though? You're a real pro at this. Oh, getting closer. Oh, here it is. I'm about to get serious. Look out. YouTube front bumper. Well, Welcome everybody to the webinar. This is Jake Royall coming at you from beautiful Santa Barbara, California. It's actually Goleta, California. I'm not pretentious enough, I guess, to live in Santa Barbara. So I'm one small town away, but it's still all Santa Barbara County. So there's your warning, risk warning, 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 alert. Trading can be dangerous. Okay, let me make sure that I'm going to show you folks the right chart without deleting any of my wonderful flags. Can everybody hear me okay? Somebody? Radio check. 1, 2, 2, 2, check. Radio check. Hello. Yes, thank you, Jerry. Jerry, you're always so good about responding in the chat. Good job, Jerry. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to do my deep breaths, just like 2 of them before we get officially started. Well, I guess we're officially started. I played the video. Da, 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 da. Okay, breathing now. Trading day is over. Yes, I call it over at 4:15. Come on, chart. You can come in. Come on, little buddy. You come on over. There you go. Good. Yes, expand. Ooh, yay. Mountains. I should have stopped trading here. That's where I should have stopped. Everything's fine though. But you know what I went and did? I'm going right to it, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going right on in there. We have a bunch of people on the webinar. I appreciate all of you being there, being here, there, where, everywhere, all over the place. You folks are from all over the world. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I went back after today because I've been having this hunch for quite some time with the NQ, MNQ, whatever, on a 5-minute chart with the strategy that I trade every day. That if I just go for somewhere between 450, 400 or so, we'll just say 400, somewhere between 400 ticks and 1,000 ticks total with all positions on the 5-minute chart. And if I just shoot somewhere in there between 400 and 1,000, obviously let like if I'm in a trade, I'm not going to just close the trade. Well, I guess this is not obvious. I'm not going to close the trade at I'm only shooting for 500 ticks, and if I'm in a long and I'm at 499 ticks, I'm closing the position. That is a viable option, but that's not how I want to do it. But I've been having this hunch. If I just shoot somewhere between 400 and 1,000 ticks, sometimes like I tested one day and they're back tested one day with this, and it was like 1,300 ticks in just the first 2 trades. And then I stopped trading in the morning session. That's probably for the best. I had this hunch. And then while I was waiting for a trade, because we can do that with Warp, with this awesome system that we have, this software, I tested 17 days, and out of those 17 mornings, I was able to, we were up somewhere between 400 and indeed 1,000 ticks. And if I were to keep trading, sometimes there'll end up being more profits, but oftentimes like the best couple trades happen right off the bat. First 1 or 2 trades. Today was one of those days. So my first trade was 560 ticks. And then it started ranging. And when it ranges, and if you're using an HMA or an EMA or something, once it starts ranging, like, oh yay, it's calling a downtrend. But now we're ranging. Are we ranging? Because it looks like a downtrend. But then the day can start, especially the day after a news day, right? And then it can just range around, right? And if it's ranging around, then I am often tempted to just disregard the HMA. But that's not in my definitive rule set at this moment. But that's what would have happened if I would have disregarded the HMA. I would have had this, and break even would have been here, and a break even would have been here. But instead, I'm using the HMA, and I missed this trade, and then I missed that trade, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should just stop. Like, I don't know. Got the 560 ticks. So then I tested that. I tested 17 days, and out of the 17 days, only 1, maybe 2 days hit like a max drawdown allowance that I'm thinking of, like 800 ticks total. And all the other ones were between 400 and 1,000 ticks. And then I had this part. Let me know if anybody else has this occur in their psychology from time to time. Have this things like, oh, well, I'm already done work in like an hour. I better keep trading because it's my job. Otherwise, what am I going to do? Like, go take a walk in the woods, or go fly my paraglider, or go do something for myself that's fun? No, no, no. I have to be diligent and keep trading all day. That's not how trading works, though. And it was made very evident by the back testing that I just did while I was waiting for that trade. So what are we talking about here? Any people on YouTube that might be listening to this? Well, we're talking about TachEon TimeWarp, which is software developed by Back to the Future Trading Company that plots these little dots out into the future. Let me get rid of this picture. Just a second. Well, for a while, actually. Oops. Clicked on, there we go. Properties. Remove. Apply. Let's go to the end of the day. This is what we're talking about. This is why we're here. For anybody who doesn't have this software, what the software does is it plots these little dots out in the future. You can have it print 2 dots. You can have it print 3 dots. You can have it print 30 dots or more out into the future. And what these are, there are historical swing points where there is significantly more buying and or selling happening in the market on average at these times, when the banks make moves, when institutions make moves. But that doesn't mean that the price is going to do this. I mean, that would be insane. We're going to have stuff, you know, more like maybe at this blue dot, the price will go down, and then it'll go up, and then it'll go down, and then it'll go up, and then, but it will finish lower than it started. Oftentimes that will happen. And you know, with white dots, you'll have some more buying, historically, more buying than selling. But by the end of that window, we could come all the way down. But over the course of that time period, the software has determined that there was indeed more buying than selling between this time and this time, historically, over the data set that we're looking at. And it takes 12,000 lines of code or more to get that all sorted out. And that's why all of us who have paid for the software, that's why we paid the money that we did for the software, is because it does give us an edge. It gives us timing, predictive timing that, as far as I've ever seen, no other software offers swing points like this out in the future based on historical data swings. Price averages, if you will. Okay. This HMA on 5 minute is a 35, and it don't work worth crap sometimes on a 5 minute chart if it's ranging. But if I'm going to change any of that, then I have to go back test, and that could take hours and hours and hours. So we are using patterns as of late. Let me just check the chat here real quick. So yeah, Chris, the HMA value here on this chart is 35. And then there's a question here from Lance. Hi, Lance. Can you post the setting used for the Wednesday, Thursday forecasts? Yeah, the settings are the same exact that I'm using. 714. Oops. Swing indicator. So the signal generator is looking for swing 8s back in the past to determine the future forecasts. And then what the indicator is doing is it's looking back 7 calendar days and then also through 14 calendar days. So this is the same as standard settings. Same times, you'll see the same time signals, East Coast time, that you would on the Back to the Future website. So every Tuesday night, Back to the Future sends out signals for Wednesday and Thursday's trading days for a variety of markets, many markets actually, all futures markets. Well, there is a couple forex and crypto, but it could be argued that those are all futures the way that they're set up on NinjaTrader anyway. The only thing that I've changed for my personal trading on the 5-minute is I use half of the standard ATR. It's not actually half, it's 0.75 is the setting that I use. 0.75. I still use a 7 ATR look back. Does that work? Okay, and then Lance also asked, can you tell me how to display the future times panel in NT7? NT7? No, I can't. I don't know anything about NT7, Lance. I'm sorry. But here's how you can do it on NT7. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? Did you mean NT8? Why would you want to use NT7? But if you're going to use NinjaTrader 8, what you do is you squeeze in like this, and then you can see more dots. I'm going to clear all the drawing tools on this one because we're going to be doing some brand new stuff here. So did you see what I did there? Let's make my chart move faster too. So this way I'll only be able to see a few dots. Oh, where'd you go? Come on, there you go. Even if I swing, even if I come all the way back here, but if I squeeze it in and then roll it back, it's pretty cool. I mean, we already know if today was Friday, we would already know when our first trading opportunity would be on Monday. No other trading system offers that as far as I've ever seen. Got it? Yes, there you go, Lance. There's NT8. I don't think that Warp this version, no, actually I know this for a fact. This version of Warp isn't available for NT7. What else is going on out there? Does anybody have any questions? Use this time to ask me questions because I'm in the midst of already answering some while I'm pouring my beverage. No questions. Okay, well, then I'm going to subject you to the slideshow, people. Part of what I have to do. Let me just check something here. Okay. Yes. Okay, looks good. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, where is my? Oh, I shut my computer off the other day. Here it is. No, maybe that's not it. Oh no. Oh, it is. I found it. There it is. Do you have stats on the system? Yeah, I did that webinar on the 1 minute last week. I lasted 3 days trading the 1 minute chart before I completely almost lost my mind. It's like an addict going back. It's like an alcoholic going back and being like, yeah, I think I can just drink 1 beer. Oh, okay, Bob. Yeah, you want to try just 1 beer tonight? Let's go out. An hour later. I said I would just drink one beer, right? Well, I didn't really mean it. That's what it feels like to me to trade the 1 minute chart. It's horrible. I hate that. Hate it. But I also love it. The 5 minute, I can have some bad trades and a bad day, and I won't completely lose it. I won't be depressed. But the 1 minute chart, it gets me into a high anxiety. So the last 2 days I traded the 5 minute chart, and it's a lot easier for me. Yeah, 1 hour later, I'm in a puddle. I almost did. End up in a puddle. Oh, I love that, Mark. That's awesome. Oops, this isn't the right. That's not the right thing. That's the picture of me, though. Oh, here it is. I kind of like doing these webinars, not like too professionally. When I first started doing them, I used to be all uptight with myself, and now just I think it's more fun to be loose. I mean, whatever. We're just hanging out, talking about trading and software, and we don't have any trades. At least I don't have any trades going right now. I have a feeling that most of us here are day traders. Could be wrong though. Does anybody here on the webinar not just day trade the TachEon signals, the warp signals? Okay, so this is what we're talking about. TachEon, TimeWarp, power of predictive trading technology. This is legit as far as I am concerned, this is legit institutional grade trading software. Because what it does is it looks for those institutional moves. There's me, there's my dog. So by we, I mean Back to the Future is the only company online, like I was saying, that gives times and directions in advance. We give the trading rules in advance, lets the times and setups pass. 2 days later, we add up the results for pass or fail. So we're going to be looking at some charts. I don't know. I think maybe doing these webinars not as uptight and professionally, like, oh, maybe I'll go over here in the slideshow, or maybe we'll talk about this first and then we'll talk about that. I don't know. I just try to be as honest as I can in these webinars. And if people don't have the software, I really want them to have it because it's made a massive difference in my life. And I don't know, being loose in the webinars, it's like I am trying to convince people to get the software and get on board with us, but I'm also not. I also don't really care. Like if you want to keep trading MACDs and stochastics, then go for it. I can't do it anymore. Trading MACD stochastics on a 1 minute chart, like I will quit trading after a while. I've quit trading twice, once for 6 months and once for 3 months. And you should have seen what my charts looked like back then. They were haphazard and ridiculous, and I thought I was cool and I thought I knew what I was doing. Now I trade one singular chart at a time. 1 5 minute chart. No additional time frames. Been there, done that. And now I don't even want to trade all day. Just see what I can make in the first. If I can't make my goal in the first 2 hours of the trading day, then I think I'm done, man. I think I'm done. I mean, I didn't get into this whole trading thing to work for 10 hours a day. I feel like these changed colors. Maybe did I do that? My big thesis is that all the world looks messy and chaotic. If you translate it into the world of numbers and shapes, patterns emerge, and you start to understand why things are the way they are. I just realized I forgot to answer this question. Yes, I do have stats on the 1 minute. I totally just got distracted. They are in the webinar from last week, and I just can't trade the 1 minute. I just can't do it. I freaking tried it again. I went back to it and it just didn't work out so well for me emotionally. But I do have these stats that we did last week's webinar. It's with a 35 HMA on the 27th. We have all that. That's just too many trades for me. I can't even keep track of them. And then I realized when I back tested the next day that I was accidentally using a 21 HMA, and I back tested all of these trades wrong. And then I was like, oh, now I need, look at them all. Before I realized I was using the 21 and not the 35. So all of these. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I guess I better do the 35. And then I did all of these. And then I was like, well, if I already spent all that time, I might as well see what happens if we use no HMA. And then I did all of these. And I wonder, and I wonder why the 1 minute makes me want to throw things and cry. Even just the back testing of 1 minute makes me want to cry. But what's interesting to me, I mean, anybody who doesn't have the software, very quantitative rules. If anyone wants to try trading the 1 minute with the system that I taught last week, go for it. You will have losing days because no system is perfect, obviously. But for these 2 days that I tested, and I tested the other day multiple different ways, we still ended up in profit. You can see here that the 35 HMA total was 684 for the 28th of October. And if we subtract this 2,900 from 3,100, no HMA is like a $200 profit, barely even after commit. No, this is actually including commissions. And then if you use the 21 HMA, which starts up here at 1,000, so we'll just call that 1,100 to 24, so 1,100. If that makes any sense. I know that's all over the place. Dave, it's all new to Dave. Oh, all of it? Did you just get the software, Dave? Did you buy it recently? Welcome. Dave's all excited, put an exclamation point after his comment and everything. You should be excited. It's somehow all of us are lucky enough to find this awesome company, Back to the Future Trading, run by Mike and Ron. They've been in business for 10, 11, 12, 13 years, Dave? Other Dave? Sales manager, Dave? Oh, speaking of sales manager, Dave, if anybody, I don't know if the Halloween special is over. Maybe there's a couple extra days left in it. Maybe Dave can sneak you in. But if anybody is interested in buying the software, give Dave a call or shoot him a text or an email. It's david@backtothefuturetrading.com. And his email, he probably just put it in the chat. Oh, I need to push oh, there it is. David is 727-742-2626. It's only David. You don't have to go through all sorts of different channels to talk to the salesperson. It's just Dave. It's a small boutique family style company that we're talking about here. Okay, so there's that. So like I was saying, what the software does is it looks for swing. Right now it's looking for swing 8s. And maybe this is a swing 8. Maybe that's a swing 8. Maybe that's a swing 8. We'd have to put a swing indicator on here. Maybe this is, maybe that is. Definitely. So the software will go back and look through however many days of data, 714, but you need 30 days. So it's looking, I'm not exactly sure how it does what it does. All I know is that it does work and it does lend itself to an edge. And software goes back and looks for these swing points, and I think that it looks for swing points that overlap periodically on certain days at certain times and windows of certain times, and then once it has enough overlap or averages of price movement in the upwards direction or the downward direction in that time window from say 9:05 to 10:22, it will print that window out into the future. And so that's how I look at patterns now. I mean, I can still see your head and shoulders, your consolidation, your double bottoms, your triple sow cows, all that stuff, but it doesn't really fit into my quantitative strategy. I could figure out a way to do it and get that working, but I just don't have the brain power to deal with it anymore. I'd rather just trade the dots and let the 12,000 lines of code tell me where my opportunities are. And if there's a bull flag there and I'm supposed to short, I just don't take that bull flag into consideration. If the dot is blue and it is a pattern 2, then I disregard the bull flag. I mean, if you wanted to not disregard the bull flag, obviously you can make up all sorts of different systems with this software. What's cool is that there's those windows in time, right? So like, we know that historically, there has been selling between 615 and 755. So maybe you have a system where you do use a stochastic crossover, a MACD or an RSI or something. Maybe you're only going to allow yourself shorts from 615 to 755. There's a multitude of different ways to trade this wonderful software. Moving on. Hopefully everybody's read at least one of these new Market Wizards books, and you don't even have to read it anymore. You can just get it on Audible. If anybody hasn't tried Audible or books on CD, which we don't have CDs anymore, books on tape, we definitely don't have those anymore. Audible is the new way to go. It's an app. I've been using it for years, actually. You can have a professional actor, book reader person, read these books to you. Why would anybody want to read when they can have somebody read? I don't know. I'm an Audible person. I can read, I think, but why? Why hold my neck like that, strain my eyes? I'd rather just close my eyes and let somebody read me books about trading. I've read a bunch of books about trading. And by read, I mean somebody's read them to me. So my experience with, and this goes for me as well, my experience with the 36 interviews conducted for this book and its predecessor leaves me with little doubt that the random walk theory is wrong. It's not a random walk. I mean, man, there was one signal today. Oh, right when I was all feeling all happy and I should have stopped trading for the day. Where was it? Right here. I'm gonna go Californian for a second. Dude, bro. For real? Seriously, bro? The market opens here. Hopefully everybody likes how I sprinkle in the charts with the slideshow that I have to do. It's part of my job. I have to do it. Market opens here. It's all East Coast time, 9:30. I don't let myself start trading until 9:40. Let me give myself a little margin. I'm going to show you how I started my day here. Let's do a little more margin on the side. So like 500. So bam, perfect. Okay, so I did make a discretionary call this morning, which I don't normally do, but I couldn't not do it. I saw this pattern 4, which is a really weird, weak, strange pattern 4. I mean, if we squeeze a chart, like it's so close to it. Oh, like this. Well, no. Okay, sorry. This is the first 5-minute candle. I forgot where we're at. So not only was this almost a doji, if you squeeze the chart in, you get it look like a doji. It's a spinning top, right? Very long spinning top. We're talking about this candle here. So this candle here, I'm like, oh, pattern 4, spinning top, indecision. It could be a 2, it could be a 4. Oh, I don't know, but I'm not allowed to trade at 9:35 anyway. I can't trade until the close of the 9:40 candle. And then we get this legit doji. I mean, I guess if you expand it far enough, you can get it to turn into a spinning top. But the way I had my chart this morning was more like this. I saw that as a doji, and I was like, "There's no way." I'm on my Zoom meeting, and I'm like, "There's just no way. There's no way I'm taking that doji. I'm waiting for the next candle." Because the HMA is white, we have a pattern 4, which means I could go long here, but with a doji, no, I kind of want to see a close above the open price line or like a white body or something. So I waited for the next candle to close, and then I was like, oh, it's probably an effort to fall bar. It could be a fake out. I don't know, whatever. But survey says that I have to short that. I didn't really have a choice at that point because we had punctured the lowest low. I hate that. If I accidentally push F1, then NinjaTrader decides that NinjaTrader has decided to F1, like getting onto their website is so important. What? that if F1 getting onto their website deserves a hotkey. Like, no, it's not. Don't give me F1 as a hotkey. Maybe I should just change that. You can change the hotkeys, by the way. It's pretty easy to do. Hopefully everybody knows how to do that. I can show you folks if you want how to change hotkeys. I've changed a bunch of them. So like for my fib tool, I've made it Control F. I mean, something like simple, like I do like to use triangles just because they look pretty. Control T for triangle. But normally, I don't know. And then, yeah, I've got a bunch of them. Anyway, so this is the lowest low of the pattern. Well, so this is actually what made the pattern for. So if we break that low, then I'm actually back into short territory. We broke that low and closed below it. That's what I want. So I shorted right here. And then I dragged my stop to the wick of the entry candle. And this was like a 250. Oh no, it's right here at 209. I have a max stop loss of 200 on the 5-minute chart. So my stop loss was like right here. That's pretty much like right there. It's all perfect. And then I held this thing all the way to the next signal. I had target 1 and then closed both remaining positions here. I got a really crappy entry because this candle moved fast. This was the 9:45 PMI final something services news. And then here at 10 o'clock, this is really cool actually to show this on the webinar, especially for people who don't have the software. I feel like this is convincing. Like a lot of people look at the software and it's like, yeah, it costs a couple bucks. It's not free. I mean, if this was free, then I don't know. I personally think they could charge probably more for this software than they do. But Michael and Ron, they're good guys. Tell you what. No. What was I doing? I just distracted myself. Oh yes. I forgot to check your meds, Jake. No, I didn't. I took them. Maybe you did. No, I took them. Just kidding. Maybe I'm not. Let's see. Yeah, I wanted to show you the news events simultaneously with. There they are. So check this out. Oh, I just closed the window because there was a piece of dust on my mouse pad. Sometimes I can't believe that Michael and Ron let me do these webinars. I don't think they watch them. I could say anything. But if I went crazy enough, though, I think one of you folks would probably email him and go, hey, Mike, Michael, you might want to watch the webinar that Jake did last Thursday. He was a little out of control, and then Michael might watch it and go, ooh, just kidding. I gotta take my laughs where I can get it. I tried, oh, wait, 11 tabs? Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Okay, we're back. Let me just drag this out. So this candle started moving. That was the final services PMI Tuesday, Wednesday, where are we? Right here. And then this 1 o'clock signal. Oh, geez, come on, come back here. Get back here. This 1 o'clock signal, 1 o'clock, 10 o'clock signal was the ISM services PMI. So this candle started moving really fast. I think I got like 35 ticks of slippage or something. It might have even been more than that. But I got my 500 tick goal there. That's where I should have stopped. And then we had this perfect reversal here that I did not get into because my HMA was blue. Like how is that a coincidence? So this indeed was a pattern 2. It turned right back into a pattern 2 real quick when this candle closed below and punctured the lowest low here, this one. And then we turn into a pattern, then we go for pattern 1. And I did not take this trade, but if you did, you would have had a 500, almost a 500 tick, 450 tick winner. And then if you weren't trading HMAs on a range day, then you could have taken this 1030 short, because this is typically on this type of day when the institutions, the big players, were done buying and holding. And it was time for them to sell off just a little bit. This is what I was talking about earlier. But this would have been enough for me if I would have taken it with my 0.75 ATR to hit my target 1. And then as soon as my target 1 is hit, I'm moving my 2 remaining positions to break even. So anyway, what I really wanted to show you was how cool it is that right here at this news event at 10 a.m., the dot worked absolutely perfectly. And actually it worked perfectly at the 9:35 and the 10. Just doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. Well, after you've seen enough of these dots, you just start to realize. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Tuesday, Back to the Future sends out the signals on their website and via email to 5,000 people, probably, maybe more than that on the email list. And that, yeah, the email comes with the signals for Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday, on Thursday we have the webinar, and we see how well the signals performed. And there's the signal, like I've been talking about. Then there's the setup. We've kind of went into all of that already. I always like to read the random distribution by Mark Douglas. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that defines an edge. This truth makes trading a probability or numbers game. When you really believe that trading is simply a probability game, concepts like right and wrong or win and lose no longer have the same significance. This is the most important part for me. As a result, your expectations will be in harmony with the possibilities. I don't really want to expect to win or expect to lose money. I just want my expectations to be in harmony with what the possibilities, the probabilities are. That's all. Let's see here. We're making pretty good progress already. How many people we got here still? Oh, nice. Everybody's still here. Nice. Anybody have any questions? What should we do? I've been testing. Oh, well, that's the thing about the NASDAQ 5-minute. It's for some reason, Michael doesn't give out those 5-minute signals for free. And actually, I think I might have just realized why. I've always wondered why. Why does he give out the ES 5-minute and the 1-minute? And like they're giving out a lot of free information. If we really think about it, I'm not going to give too much away, but I've heard Michael say it on a webinar. I actually can't believe he said it. But if one were to really think about all the signals for all the markets that Michael and Ron give away for free on Wednesday and Thursday, you could say that that's maybe a little bit too much for free. But why not the 5-minute NASDAQ? Why? It's not because I'll tell you what. I can show you the back test that I did. Maybe we should do that. Back test that I did, or I kind of want to do like I think I'm supposed to do a market that is on the emails, in the email list of signals. In case anybody's interested, I am also the in-house mentor for training on Warp and whatnot. So yeah, you can send me an email and maybe I'll get back to you in 5-10 days, and we can set up a meeting. You know, you can also send me a text. Jason, are you here? I owe you a text back. It's like, Jason, hey, I can meet on Saturday. And he's like, oh, sorry, I can meet on Sunday. It's like, no, well, that's not going to happen. And now here's Thursday. Anyway, I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. So actually, we don't need to go to the product store right now. I wanted to show the signals. What just happened there? Oh, let's look at the freezer and the ice bath. Oh, that's what that's kind of a little bit like what I felt like today when I knew I should have stopped trading after that first win. Let's go back to the website. I don't know why it kicked me off of there. I wanted to show you folks how to get to the signals. You go to About, Live Weekly Webinars, TimeWarp Projections, and where's this projections for Wednesday and Thursday? This also goes out in an email to 5,000 people or more. So it's impossible to cheat these signals. All these different markets and time frames. Notice the NASDAQ 1 minute. Notice no NASDAQ 5 minute. Wonder why that is. Maybe it's too good. Maybe it's too good to give away. Could be. Ethereum, I mean, all sorts of stuff. And then all Thursday, ES 5 and 3. I'll tell you that it's not NASDAQ at 5 minute. It's not, he's not, they're not posting it on here because it doesn't perform well, because it performs very well. All these signals. Well, I'll tell you what, I ain't testing no 1 minute again. I'm over it. Takes too much effort, too much brain power, and then I'm exhausted. I have no idea how it will work out, but we can try the ES 5 minute if anybody wants. Same way trade the ES. We could try that because those signals are the same signals that we have here on my chart. Before we get into that, though, let's go over the 5 fundamental truths and the 7 principles of consistency, as always, by Mark Douglas, author of Trading in the Zone. The 5 fundamental truths of trading. Number 1, anything can happen. Number 2, you don't need to know what is going to happen next to make money. Number 3, there's a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. An edge is nothing more. Number 4, an edge is just nothing more than an indication of a higher probability of one thing happening over another. Number 5, every moment in the market is unique. 7 principles of consistency. Number 1, I objectively identify my edge. Hopefully everybody can objectively identify their edge. Number 2, I predefine the risk of every trade. Number 3, I completely accept the risk, or I'm willing to let go of the trade. That one's taken a long time. A lot of these have taken a long time for me to actually stay consistent with. Just staying consistent with the 7 principles of consistency is hard enough. Number 4, I act on my edges without reservation or hesitation. Number 5, I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. That's why I need 3 positions to trade. Number 6, I continually monitor my susceptibility for making errors. Number 7, I understand the absolute necessity of these principles of consistent success, and therefore I never violate them. All right. Mark Long says, trading the 1 minute is like counting cards in blackjack. It works, but it is so exhausting to do. Yeah, could not agree more. Let's let me show you folks something before we go into. I just want to roll through this because I think it's cool. Let me just get it set up over here on the other screen real quick. And I'm going to do this quick, but I just want everybody to see it. I actually, like, honestly don't want to give all of this away, what I do here in the 5-minute, but I did want to just show, I mean, it's not much different than all of the stuff that I've shown on all the other webinars, but okay, here we go. So let's drag this in. See the gray box there? I'm just going to go through this really quick. Anytime we see a gray box, that's the beginning of a day. So this is today, 560. So if we get between 400 and 1,000, we stop trading. If we are down 800 total, so max drawdown 800 for all trades, then we stop trading. So here's one day, 560. Here's yesterday, 674. I'm just going to blow through these. Here's Monday, 977. First two trades. This is what I was talking about in the beginning of the webinar. This is the hunch that I had and how I knew I needed to spend the time and to actually get these stats. First two trades, 640. $464 after first two trades. How many days is that? That's like 4 days already, right? 1,000 ticks, first two trades. That's with 3 positions. But, oh, I skipped this day for some reason. By accident, because I was going so fast. But I was being accurate though. Look at this son of a gun. 1,367 ticks in the first two trades. Why would I want to keep trading after that? No. You know, but then you'll get something like this though, like, oh, I already made 1,367 ticks in 2 trades, and then greed will kick in. Of course. Well, there's other things that kick in. Then you look here over this pattern 2. I know this is a little messy. Over here at this pattern 2, I actually would have taken it here on this candle. And then we would have gotten more. But the days in which that happens don't seem to be as frequent. Then you would have, you know, it's like this kind of stuff. Like, oh, maybe I should just trade all day. But the days that are not winning days in the first half of the day, it's more than the morning session. It's like the first half of the day. So anyway, moving along. 1367. So even if the max stop loss was hit, then it would still be a 466.6 by the end of the gray box. And this is what I mean. So keep trading. So you had, I'm not going to explain all of it. So 466, that's within our 400 range. 942 ticks in the first trade. Just in the first trade. Why would I want to keep trading? Screw that, man. I'm having revelations over the last couple days. Like the 1 minute chart put me into some kind of like rock bottom. It felt like a rock bottom. I don't know if there's anybody that has struggled with addiction in the webinar today. All sorts of whatever it might be, cigarettes or alcohol or something even hardcore. 620 ticks first 2 trades. Are we noticing a pattern here? 598 ticks in just the first trade. So all we need is between 400 or over 400 and we can stop trading. And I'm moving on. 986, just the first trade. I'm done. And this one would have been a loss. And then you would have lost 168 ticks times 3. Moving on, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to show you all of it. 456 ticks in the first 2 trades. And then a series of losses after that. 573 ticks in the first 2 trades. Is this the weird day? There's one weird day. Oh yeah, yeah, check this out. I hit max stop loss on the first trade, like, oh, son of a gun. And then I made it all, then I would have made it all back on the next trade. And the pattern 4 turns back into a pattern 2 at this puncture. And then, and you can use this, I mean, I don't see why this wouldn't work on other instruments. Oh, this day is crazy. 2,100, over 2,100 ticks in the first 3 trades. And then this is why minus 42 ticks after the first 2 trades. Well, that means I have to keep trading. I'm not down 800 ticks. That's just minus 42. So keep trading. And then this is what I was talking about. Like, I'm not going to just stop this trade here. Complete the trade to the signal, and at the completion is the 2,100. I think it's just a couple more days. This is a weird day. This day was a little confusing. So we can even call this, it's not a minus 800, but we can call it an minus 800. I don't feel like getting into that. We'll just call that a full loss day. And then either way, this day is also slightly confusing, but either way, either how I would have taken this trade or that trade, it would have been 1,000 ticks, give or take. Oh, 400 to 1,000 ticks. So it's still within that range. And I think that's it. Yeah, I ran out of signals, the data. So, yeah. I'm just looking at some questions here. Could you please go through your settings? Yeah, oh, maybe you missed it, Jerry. I went through them earlier. I'll go through them again though, no problem. Same exact as standard. Swing 8, 7, 14. I'm not even saying these are the best settings. I'm just sick of trying to find the perfect settings. This is what it came with. This is what I'm using. The only thing I've changed is this, the ATR multiple, because using a 1.5 ATR multiple on a 5-minute chart will give you massive stop losses. And with my account size, I just can't handle it. I mean, maybe later on, but 0.75 seems to work. Excuse me, seems to work great. And then the other most important part is my 4-5 swing strength definer is 4. Not to be confused with pattern 4 or pattern 5. 4. 6, 7, that's standard 5. I don't trade 6 or 7s. Although I could, but that's just more stuff to go back and back test. Does that help? Thank you, chart. Oh yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, there was like 17 days where just the morning time worked out. Okay, so let me get this chart out of here so I don't mess that one up. So let's switch over. Let's see if it would have worked on the ES. I'm curious. We'll do the MES. See what that looks like. Wow, completely. You know what I've heard? Where are we? 950. Wow, the ES is just so foreign to me to even look at. I don't even know. I can't make sense out of it. Whoa. Whoa. Hold on a sec. Really? Nuh-uh. Wait, maybe I'm on the right day. One, two. Yesterday was the news day. Oh, there it is. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's cool. All right, I just wanted to make sure that. So at 120, the ES did indeed go up and then did indeed go down to here. So like, I don't know if the 0.75 works on the ES. I have no idea. I mean, in fact, let's just see here. What Michael always does on the webinar is just show you folks the difference here. Yeah, there's a reason I don't trade the ES. I mean, man, if you're trading the ES with a 5-minute chart, you're 108 tick stop. Well, that's with the news. That's not really fair. We'd have to use today. It's more normal. But still though, like look at the size of those stops. That's huge. That's in ticks. What's another market we can look at? I don't know if, how about let's look at what we got here. Crude, gold? No. How about the YM? How about the YM 3-minute? That's a little bit more my style. I actually have traded the YM a little bit too. Let's look at yesterday and see if that line, if those times line up on the YM too. Indeed. Man, that's trippy how they would all line up like that. Whoa. This is the news. Yeah, here I'll show you the system on the YM. And then you can go look at it on last week's webinar too, and just basically apply that to whatever market you want. I'll let you folks decide whatever stop loss, dot price distance you want to use on any given market or time frame. I don't want to be responsible for suggesting that part. Let's see. Let's just gonna try to find a signal that works easily. Well, I guess this one. So at 130, white dot, pattern 1. Here, let me get rid of these for a sec. Okay. White dot, pattern 1. Pattern 1 means long. HMA is white, which means we can long. Doesn't have to be a close above or below it. We just need it to be white. And then we would enter at the close of the signal candle and then drag our stop to where the stop loss is, the dot price line. I'll make it a little shorter so you can still see it under there. And then we'd have 3 positions. Enter 3. Okay, yes. So your 3 entries are going to be right here. Your 3 stops are going to be here. Your target 1 is going to be here. Target 2 is going to be here, and your runner is going to be here. And this is going to be really annoying because as soon as we move, as soon as you hit target 1, then the idea, what I usually teach, and it seems like it works most of the time, it does help, So you have 3 stops here, right? CV, CV, right down here under this line. I just have them offset so we can see them. As soon as target 1 is hit, then we obviously, that stop is gone. Then your stops get moved to break even. Then target 2 is hit. Then we have that runner position that is just running somewhere over the rainbow. We'd have no idea where. And I don't know exactly how this candle formed. I could switch charts and figure it out. But the price action does indeed come back in and take us out at break even here. Just barely too, almost like it knew that we were there by 10 ticks. But if you didn't move your stop loss to break even, you'd have 354 on that one, on the YM. And then with the short position here, the 2, pattern 2, we would just wait for the HMA to turn colors right here. And because we have an intra signal trend confirmation with the HMA, instead of entering here at the close of this candle and then dragging our stop loss all the way back up to the stop loss dot line, we're just going to drag it to the wick of that entry candle. It's just a modified way of doing an EMA puncture trade. Instead, we're using color. This is how Michael teaches the puncture trade. So you can call this a puncture trade, even though I don't use punctures of the HMA. On an EMA, I would indeed use punctures. I would use, if we're using a 20 or a 120, I would do the punctures. But this HMAs move in such a way where the color seems to make more, the slope makes more of a difference than the close above or below. And same thing, we'd have a target 2 here, target 1 here, enter 3 positions here, 3 stops would be here. And then we'd also have that runner position here. And we hit target 1 and almost target 2. Target 1 gets hit, then we move our 2 remaining stops to break even. And we hold those 2 other positions because we did not hit target 2. We hold those until the close of the 305 candle. Now we wouldn't go long here unless our HMA turns white, which it does not. And then we could have a puncture trade short here. So if a candle comes down and closes below the stop dot price line, we can actually short in a pattern 1 window, and we would do that the same way as a puncture trade. And like I said, I don't know if this is the best setting for how far away to put the dot on this market, but it looks like that one almost breaks us even. So you'd have 3 losses there. You close your all positions. If none of the targets are hit, you just close all positions. Oh, well, we'd have to be closed a little earlier than that because the market's closed. So that's how that would have worked out. Does that make sense? Michael, if you could send me an email to Jacob at Back to the Future Trading, I can send you the FIP tool. I kind of want to do just that first few trades thing on the YM. Wait, let's see what our indicator, I feel like the YM probably performs a little bit more like the NASDAQ than the ES does. Let's try 0.75. I know it might be too tight. Let's try it. So here's the start of our day, 9:30. Here's when I allow myself, we're still in the 5-minute? Yes. I allow myself to start trading here. So here's how I would have taken the first trade on the YM. Here we have a pattern 1, right? This dot, but we start out HMA is blue, downtrending, and we start out pre-market with a giant candle closing below the stop line. Puncture here. I don't trade pre-market, but if I did, then you could, if I did trade pre-market, you could short this candle and then have your stop loss to the wick, huge, to the wick of the entry puncture candle. but I wait till the close of the 940 candle. And because I'm waiting for the close of the 940 candle, so here we go, bam, that candle closes. We'd short at the close of that candle and then simply drag our stop loss up to the wick right there. And then we're shooting for target 1 and 2, and we also have a runner. There's target 1. Target 2 almost gets hit, you stinker. And then we get stopped to break even for the others. Okay, and then this pattern 2 is barely a pattern 2. And it almost looks like a pattern 4 to me, but it says pattern 2. So that's what we'll trade it as, because we have a blue HMA and a blue dot, and it's a pattern 2, not a 4. 4 means up, 2 means down. We have a blue and a blue, so we would short this, and we would just drag our stop line to the dot price, and we would shoot for a target 1. We did not get that, so this is pretty cool to be able to show. So we would exit here at that stop, and we would actually stop in reverse because our HMA has turned white. So you have time to see all this happening on a 5-minute. HMA has turned white, and we have a close above the stop puncture. So we would actually enter long here and probably get stopped out. Oh no, I guess not. I thought that this was yesterday. Oh no, this is yesterday, not today. So we get a target 1, then we move stops to break even, then we get a target 2. Yeah, it looks like this does perform more like the NASDAQ. And then we'd be holding that runner, making sure we see if we get stopped out or not. Right there. Pretty much get, yep, there you go. Stopped out on the runner. And of course, there's ways that you can auto trail that runner position. And then here we have that pattern 1, but we moved our stop loss tighter, right? So we'll have to squeeze that in, and we'll have to adjust pattern 1, that means up. HMA is white. Our target 1 is here. Our target 2 is here. Is this making sense? And like I was saying earlier, you certainly do not have to trade warp like this. It's just how I do it. And then we're stopped at break even, unfortunately. Here, that's a tough one to take. Can't short the pattern 2 because our HMA is white, not until here. And this works out pretty much the same, right? Yep, don't quite hit target 2. Then we have a pattern 1, but our HMA is blue, so we can't long. Here we actually are allowed to enter a short, because earlier, this is what happens when you change the ATR on your dot price line and make it tighter. You're going to get more puncture trades. So because the banks, if you will, did not show up for this buying move, they showed up for a second. They showed up a little bit early. They showed up for a second. It did retrace, but then we start this move down. This is the puncture candle of the stop line, and we treat that the same way we would as an EMA puncture or an HMA color change. Drag the stop to the wick, and all right, cool. And we do indeed hit target 1 here. We don't get stopped at break even, and we hit target 2 would be here. And then we just drag that all the way over. And all I'm doing right there is I'm anchored here, and then I'm just staring at the wick up here, and I'm just dragging that stop loss to the wick. And then we're holding that runner position until the market closes, actually. So not here, but here. Might as well get out. We'll probably get out 5 minutes before they kick us out. So that would be yesterday? Yes, that would be yesterday on the Russell. Let me make sure I got all the trades. Yeah, look at that. We just so much faster. That would be yesterday on the Russell. I mean the Dow, sorry. The Russell, what are we looking at? So that looks like a nice win day, same as with the NASDAQ. No, this actually is not a loss, that's a break even. So trying to fit it all in the screen at the same time. We could just, Dow's $5 a tick, right? Right? So we can total this up just for fun. Calculate. $30. We'll do all the wins first, all the on the top. $1,100. Just making sure I didn't forget anything down there. Oops. Minus 30 minus 30 minus 30. Oh, I guess that's it. So 1,000 ticks on the Dow, 5-minute. Lance, I don't exactly know, Lance. It might happen as soon as tonight, but it seems like it's always up by tomorrow at some point. Lance was asking when this would be posted on YouTube, and it seems like Rachel will usually post it by at some point. She might upload it tonight, but it seems like it's always up by tomorrow at some point. Oh, Dave does say holiday deals are available still. Oh, holiday deals. Oh, we're coming into Christmas time. Maybe there's some more specials. Is there anybody on this? Oh, wow, look at everybody. Geez, everybody showed, like a lot of people showed up late. Is there anybody here that doesn't own the software yet? So yeah, with that same theory of shooting for, that can't be right. Yeah, NASDAQ. So yeah, what time is it? 5:30 East Coast. Lance, I don't have access to like company wide customer email addresses. I'm not really an employee. I'm the dude who does these webinars and like goes on meetings with people and shows them stuff. Let's see, how about, I mean, what do you guys even really want to do? I've been here for an hour and a half. We've been here for an hour and a half. I have stuff I need to do. For like personal stuff. And I think, unless anybody has any questions. Okay, here's a question. I can't make it available in TradingView, Isaac, sorry. That's not up to me. I'm just the guy who does these webinars sometimes. That would be cool though. That would be cool. Because TradingView is a remote app. Yeah, I don't know. It might be, for some reason, it could be the historical data. There is definitely a reason that TachEon TimeWarp is not available on a platform like TradingView, and it has to be with NinjaTrader. Yeah. Oh yeah, Larry, my contact info is Jacob, Jacob, at backtothefuturetrading.com. Let me go back into the slideshow real quick here while we're speaking of. Where is it? Slideshow. There it is. There we go. So yeah, I mean, the playing field, obviously, as we know, is stacked against us. And these TimeWarp signals help us level the field a little bit. All the penalties that the banks have been paying for eons and will continue to pay, and just get lightly slapped on the wrist. Because what was Michael was saying, for every $3, I can't remember what it was, Dave has it, every dollar that the bank pays in penalties, they make $2 or something. I don't know. It don't seem right though. So I'd rather be on the side of the banks personally. Yeah, Isaac, just send me an email. I'm not going to be able to concentrate enough to write your emails down and everything. But if you want to get a hold of me, just email me at Jacob, Jacob, at backtothefuturetrading.com. So yeah, I mean, that's what Warp is doing. It's finding these big money routines, business procedures, scheduled reports, payment receipts, payment disbursements. You know, my attention span is waning. It's waning. I can feel it waning. I got up today at 4:30 in the morning because my brother was here and he was sleeping out in his camper, and he came up from San Diego and brought the camper van. And I heard somebody walk in at 4:30, and for a second I forgot that he was out in the driveway sleeping in his camper. I was like, what's going on? And then I just didn't get back to sleep. I just stayed up from 4:30 and then started trading it. Anyway, there's who I want to be. I want to be with Goldman Sachs walking away. And honestly, like, I will gladly cut down retail traders if I could. Like, if I'm Goldman Sachs, I'm not caring. I don't care. I mean, it's a ruthless game that we play here. It's a ruthless game. Sorry about that. I'd rather be drafting behind Goldman. Hey, can you take out everybody for me so it's not as dangerous? That'd be great. You win battles by knowing the enemy's timing and using a timing which the enemy does not expect. Book of the Five Scrolls or Rings. So with the purchase of the software, you get the setup, you get access to all sorts of training videos, and I mean, obviously you can just go on YouTube and watch these webinars or the webinars that Michael does, and then you'll get, you know, the training that you'll get, obviously, if you buy the software, you get all that stuff. Get workspaces and templates, and there is a discount code for the software as well. In case anybody is watching this on YouTube and does not have the software, don't worry. There's always a way. Actually, I got a message from Michael today for anybody who does not have the software yet. Let me see if I can find it. Quote, "We're putting in a lot of extra effort to help people get the software and have an extra source of income." So yeah, they really are. Like they signed up with a financial service. Let me pull it up actually. So let's go back to the products. Go to the product store. And you don't just get when you go to buy TachEon TimeWarp, that's what we're talking about here. All the way, by the way, 5-star reviews. These are all from real customers. Still maintain 5 stars. The customer service that you're going to get from Back to the Future is second to none. It really is. I've tried other trading software companies, and you can spend a couple $1,000 and they'll just disappear. Once they have your money, they're gone. They might email you a couple times, and then you might have another couple questions, and suddenly they just stop responding to your emails. Criminals. Michael and Ron, not criminals. Real good guys, good people. So here's the TachEon TimeWarp software landing page, the main page. You scroll all the way down to the bottom. And so this Sizzle. This is brand new. This has only been on the website for, I don't even know, a couple weeks, maybe a month. Very recent, within the last couple months. Because I remember I was talking to Michael a few months ago, and they were trying to partner up with a company. So this is financing. So you can finance the purchase. They didn't have that when I bought Warp. Yeah, I mean, I'm a customer, really. Usually I mention that in the beginning of the webinar. I'm a customer first and foremost. And Michael reached out to me probably 6-7 months ago and asked me if I wanted to do these webinars, and I said yes. And do some training if people need training, extra training, like mentorship services, if you will. I'm that guy for Back to the Future as well. But yeah, like Michael said, he's putting in a lot of extra effort to help people get the software and have an extra source of income because financial times are tight. That's what he said. Yeah. So you can use, I'm not exactly sure how to do it, but I don't know. Let's just see what it does. Add to cart. It's doing something. Maybe it gives you a little credit check or something. Yeah, I guess just check it out. Maybe call Dave. I would call Dave before even, I mean, I don't know, I guess you can just do it, but call Dave because he might have specials. I don't know if there's specials on the financing. I've heard that there is not, but who knows? I'm not going to say anything's in stone, but there's definitely, I'm not going to say that there's any more discount than what I'm about to give you. However, if you call Dave, you never know. I would try reaching out to Dave. So once you go to the buy now, you can either just buy now or you can go to, you can get, what is it, 25%? 25% off of the Ron's Pro Training Room. It's either Ron or Garrett, I believe, is the other man who hosts the Pro Trading Room. You can follow along with the trades Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Or you can go to checkout to buy the software without the Pro Training Room subscription. And then you just scroll through the purchase agreement. And what you want to do right here is enter in the code WARP off. Click apply, and it's going to get you $500 off. So $19.95. And then you also get 2 licenses for 2 separate computers. And I've heard 2 separate NinjaTrader licenses as well. So you can be creative and think about what you might be able to do with that if you have any ideas. WD Gann, time is the most important factor of all. And not until sufficient time has expired does any big move start up or down. I remember when I didn't used to know that. I didn't used to believe that 2.5 years ago. I knew that there was something. My gut told me that time was very important. Nobody on the free trading videos on YouTube and books and whatever. It was very rare to hear somebody talking about time, Fibonacci time extensions, or we're definitely not. Well, Fibonacci time extensions, yes, you can say that those were predictive, but barely anybody talks about it. But here's like arguably one of the most successful traders of all time. Here's this guy saying time's the most important factor of all. Here it is, another quote. The time is the most important factor in determining market movements, and by studying, which is what TachEon TimeWarp, the software, does, it studies the past records and it studies the averages of the swings, the swing 8 right now that we have in our settings. It studies the averages of those swing 8s and then projects them out. And you will be able to prove for yourself that history does repeat and that by knowing the past, you can tell the future. There's a definite relation between time and price. That's one of the reasons that the open price lines work so well. Now, by a study of time periods and time cycles, you will learn why tops and bottoms are found at certain times and why resistance levels are so strong at certain times and bottoms and tops hold around them. And luckily, we don't have to try to figure out the square of 9. We have TimeWarp to do that. A successful trader studies human nature and does the opposite of what the general public does. And that's why I like to disregard flags a lot, like bear flags and head and shoulders, because either way, you just never really know. It's really hard to quantify a double top or a double bottom or a flag. Like, when does it end? Although I have seen many a flag or pennant complete its formation at a dot. Whoa, how did my tools get there at the end there? I must have moved my tool. So yeah, we're talking about professional tools. We're talking about this sledgehammer. We're talking about this beautiful blue hammer that I always point out. We're not talking about this little, like, how does this hammer fit in here? This to me, it represents free indicators in a world of big banks. This is what I want to use? No. So yeah, if you don't have the software, you do have a serious choice to make. Free lagging indicators or something that, I mean, there's a bunch of people here on this webinar right now that are using this software every day. And yeah, like I was saying earlier, 2 lifetime licenses, free lifetime updates on Warp. Rachel she is the manager of Back to the Future. She's in charge of all the tech. If you can't figure out how to install the software, she will help you do it. Literally take your cursor remotely and make it happen for you. And then you have the free video archive that I was mentioning. And then if you want to, you can screenshot this, but I can help with a bunch of stuff like this. Jacob at backtofuturetrading.com. I don't want to push that. I'm trying to push the software. I really want you folks to have the software. I hope everybody had a good evening on the webinar. I'm going to sign out. I'm not doing a 2.5 hour webinar today. I'm doing this amount. Does anybody have any questions or anything before I let everybody go? And I'll see you next week. I just don't really have any more energy to do anything else. Check out last week's webinar. I go through a bunch, exhaustive trades with the system that I just went over real quick with you folks. An exhaustive amount. I was exhausted by the end, literally exhausted. But I mean, yeah, it was pretty much the same. But I went into pattern 4s and 5s and the punch throughs with those and 2 different options. But I just honestly don't have the energy to go through it again tonight. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I am going to sign out. I will see you next week, most likely, unless Michael feels like doing the webinar or if he can. Otherwise, I will be here. And I'm going to end the webinar with the modified Bob Ross. I'm definitely done. The modified Bob Ross quote that I usually do. There are no. Jake becomes a slacker, Thomas. I know. I need to be a slacker sometimes. That's it. I'm sure. That's it before I go. I was going to show you that I wasn't slacking today. Thomas, look. I wasn't slacking today. Check it out. Watch it. Look how much work it looks like when I squeeze it down too. Every one of these little clusters is one of those days that I was looking for the 400 to 800 or 400 to 1,000. Plus I traded all day and been up since 4:30. So not slacking, Tom. I appreciate it. I appreciate you folks. I have a lot of fun doing these webinars. It's nice to be part of a team and a community like we have here at Back to the Future. And remember, there are no mistakes in trading, only happy accidents. Signing out.